Make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God.
What's going on, my good people? Welcome back to the channel. So 47 is back in office, y'all. I'm gonna do this. I want us to take a look at this video. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna do my best to hold some of my comments to the end. I already watched this video already, so I know I'm not gonna be able to hold all of them to the end. But let's check this video out. This is a bishop. I guess the day after Trump got inaugurated, after the entire inauguration, she decided to use her platform to make one last plea to Trump. You might have seen it already. This is my reaction to it. Let's rock and roll. Let's go.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children.
First of all, I already see the body language. You see Trump's kids, his daughter in the with the blonde hair. She's already getting fidgety. Everybody's faces look kind of stone faced. So I already see that this is going in. This is about to go left.
In Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives.
There's J.D. Vance. He's looking at his wife. He's like, I can't believe this. He's looking at his wife like, uh-oh, I can't believe this.
And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation.
That's why I said I couldn't hold my comments to the end. I don't care what she says before or after this. So Trump is equally as guilty with talking about they're taking away black jobs. There's no such thing as a black job. I think this particular bishop, I get she's using her platform to make one last plea. But when we start talking about jobs and that certain kind of people or certain races of people occupy certain jobs, that's why I get off the boat, y'all. That's why I get off the boat. I'm not going to say that this statement is completely aces. Put the R in front of it. But what I'm going to say is it's very ignorant. It's very ignorant speech. Literally, she named every single job that most Americans would consider low income. Let me say it like that. And to me, whatever else she says before or after, that statement right there just got me off the boat. I would be equally as uncomfortable. I'm glad I'm not a politician because I'm going to tell y'all, my brothers and sisters, that I would have probably gotten up and my wife and I would have probably got up and walked out at that point. Let me say this. I'll hold it to the end. That statement, we're going to come back to that statement, y'all. Let's go.
The vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being.
This is true.
To speak the truth to one another in love, and walk humbly with each other and our God for the good of all people in this nation and the world. Amen.
Amen. What y'all think about this? Again, I'm all for her making one last plea. Trump is going to do what he's going to do. We had 4 years as a country to course correct, and it didn't happen, which is why Trump is now in office. But I want to say this too. I'm a firm believer in grace, right? And I think on both sides of the coin, we're not seeing enough grace, right? But I also believe in order. And I see a lot of the religious church use their platform to try to convey a certain message. I truly believe in this particular case, she was completely out of line. Beyond her statement of saying that they wash our dishes, they wash our dishes, they wash our dishes. That one phrase right there is what got me off the boat. I washed dishes when I was 16 years old. My first job was McDonald's, y'all. My first job was McDonald's. I did backwash. I washed dishes. I did drive-through. There's a certain entry-level job in America that most of us have gone through. I'm 53 years old. Unless I absolutely have to go back to washing dishes, no, I don't want to do it. But if I have to take care of my family, I'm going to do it, which is why I say it's not that these people, we are all part of the same freaking system. There's not a black job or a Spanish job or a freaking white job. They're just freaking jobs. America is so, listen, at the end of the day, for those of you who have ever been in the job, if you've been in the job market, I'm going to say the last 8-9 years, you realize any entry-level job is very challenging to get. Beyond the fact that I missed the old school way of finding a job, looking through the newspaper and circling the newspaper and actually going on an interview, sitting face to face with somebody so somebody can see character, somebody can look at my face as opposed to looking at my resume, not knowing me and marking me off the list. There does need to be a checks and balances in the job system because there are so many Americans that can't get into great positions in jobs because they quote unquote lack what this system will call certain qualifications. But let me make this really, really clear. There is no such talking about washing dishes, cleaning offices. I've done all of those things because I had to do them. So it's not one last plea. And there's a bunch of things that I disagree with that Trump is doing, but there's a bunch of things I completely agree with. Because I think that America is all over the place. In the last 4 years, that administration brought about havoc on America. Inflation is crazy. You go back to some of my videos that I did prior to the election. You'll see where I stand on all of this. But this particular video, I don't like the fact that this particular bishop used her platform for this particular thing. I want to talk about grace for a minute, y'all. I think that in this world, we lack grace. Not compassion, we lack grace. We want everybody, we want everything and everybody around us to change. What I would have done in this situation, there's a bunch of things I disagree with that Trump is saying. There's some things I do agree with. But at the end of the day, my grace comes in where I'm saying, you know what? He's there. I'm going to pray for him. What happened to the Christians who say they truly believe God, just saying, you know what? I don't agree, but I'm going to pray. I don't like what my child is doing. I'm not going to keep yelling and pointing my finger at my child for the mistakes they made. I'm going to pray. I don't like the way my boss is responding to me. I've done everything I can do. So God, I'm going to turn this over to you. I'm going to pray. That's what so many times in this life, we want everybody around us to freaking change. We want everything around us to freaking change. And there is no more grace. We say we trust God and we say we believe God. But in this particular case, I'm saying every single American, black, white, Asian, or other, we need to trust God and pray that that man makes the right freaking decisions. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. I don't like the fact that this particular bishop got up on stage right now and she classified a certain race of people and stereotyped them to doing a certain kind. Because I've been there before. Maybe you haven't, but I've been there before. I've been in a situation where people thought less of me because I was trying to better myself. I remember maybe 20, 30, maybe 30 years ago now. I had to be maybe 20 years old at the time. I remember going for a job interview, and at the time, and this was the late 90s. I had a briefcase, I had my suit on, and I was going for was it a management position? I believe it was, at a bank. And I walked in there, and I got in the elevator. There was 3 Caucasian guys in the elevator, and I just froze. I got nervous, right? I didn't expect them to be in there, and I felt that I heard them snickering, right? So I wound up hitting the wrong floor. I got off the elevator, and as I'm walking off the elevator, all 3 of them just bust out laughing. And I felt like SHIT, my brothers and sisters. I felt like SHIT. So when I take that particular experience and now I transfer it to what this bishop is saying, I don't like it. Don't care what job. At the end of the day, we all bleed red. We're human beings. We all need grace. We all need freaking forgiveness. Yes, this country is overrun with a bunch of things that it doesn't need right now. But at the end of the day, when do we look at each other as just freaking human beings, yo? I live in Columbus, Georgia. And one of the things I hate, one of the things I dislike strongly about Columbus, Georgia, y'all, is it's a military town. This is not a knock against the military. I thank God for the military people and all their service. But Columbus, Georgia, I want to say thank you for your service. I want to thank all the Walmart employees. I want to thank all of the freaking Kroger employees, all the Public employees, all of the Crystal employees, all the Cookout employees, all the McDonald's employees, all the Burger King employees, all of the Wingstop employees. I want to thank all of the sanitation workers in Columbus. I want to say thank you to all of the security people that protect our malls in Columbus. I want to say thank you to all the fast food workers in Columbus, Georgia. I want to say thank you to all the people who work on our roads in Columbus, Georgia. For those of you who are not military, thank you for your freaking service. Thank you for your freaking service. Every time I walk into a facility or a building in Columbus, Georgia, especially when you go up to North Columbus, are you military? It will give you a discount. You go in a certain parking lots, they got the ground carved out, like 2 spots for military parking only. This is not a knock on the military. What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, we are all paying our freaking taxes. Listen, the people, the young people, the men and women, the senior citizens that work at Walmart to help me get in, help me find what I need to find and get out. Thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you guys for coming to the window sometimes pleasantly. To the Popeye employees, to the Church's Chicken employees, to the Zaxby's employees. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Listen, I worked at fast food when I was a teenager. I can only imagine what people go through on a day-to-day basis, because most of these locations are understaffed. They got so many orders coming. They're doing DoorDash orders. They're doing regular orders, trying to feed the kids. The kids calling at home. They got problems at home, but yet they show up to work every single day. My brothers and sisters, I want to say thank you for your freaking service in Columbus, Georgia. I thank you. That's what I'm talking. That's why I don't like the comment that this young lady made. It's certain. We are all in this race together. And if we finally realize that, we will all elevate together. But we're not going to do that. People want to talk about, they have more money. They got a better car. They got this. They got that. No, at the end of the day, all those things, we clearly see what happened in California. It doesn't make up what materials, things you have. They can be gone like that. They could be gone like that. The only thing that really counts is the human spirit, the human heart. So thank you for your service, for all of us making this world go around. Thank you for your freaking service. All right, y'all. I think I said enough. I think I got my point across. I thought it was in poor taste that she used this particular platform, y'all. I just do. I respect her for her position. I respect her. I'm trying to knock her position. I just think sometimes in some situations, y'all, instead of opening our daggone mouths, we can just pray. I'm learning that. I'm learning. You know, I'm not a firm believer in I'm not a firm believer in closure. You know, when people go through certain things like, oh, I need closure. I need to talk to this person and I need closure. I'm not a firm believer in closure, y'all. Let me tell you what. If two people, like with my wife and I, in that relationship, we have to have closure with certain things. But when outside of my home, when somebody disagrees with me or doesn't really like me or is hell-bent on seeing me a certain way, we don't need closure. You need to let go, forgive, have grace, and move on. Like I can let go, forgive, have grace, and move on, or we just go our separate ways. That's it. It's just that freaking simple. In America, that's what we are. We don't have to need closure. We don't all have to agree. We don't all have to. There's no kumbaya freaking moments. There's no kumbaya moments right now. It's just pray that God directs this nation in the way we should go, bring this daggone inflation down, and meet the needs of all the American people, and we good. I don't need closure. Trump don't need to talk to me no more. Biden don't need to talk to me no more. Nobody, no political party here in Columbus need to talk to me anymore. Do something for the people that you represent. That's it. All right, y'all. I'm probably rambling now because it's kind of made me a little upset. But I appreciate y'all for checking out this episode. I'll be back with another one real soon. All right, peace.